Welcome to Odisha State Open University. In this video lecture, we will be studying about graphics, type and typography. So there are two types of graphics. One is called raster graphics and other is called vector graphics. And after that comes typography. So what is typography? The different styles of writing is called typography. In the subject of computers, it is termed as fonts. So we are having two types of graphics. One is called raster graphics and second is called vector graphics. So what is raster graphics? So raster graphics is used in photographs or images, whereas vector graphics is used in shapes or designs. So there is a difference of using raster graphics and vector graphics, and we have softwares which are associated with both of them. For example, Krita, Photoshop, they are example of raster graphics softwares, and CorelDRAW and Inkscape are example of vector graphics softwares.
In this class, we will study about graphics, type and typography. This is a theoretical subject which has to be first understood and then applied practically. We will learn the practical of raster graphics in software Krita. Then we will learn the practical of vector graphics in the software Inkscape. First, we will learn about the theoretical difference between raster graphics and vector graphics. What is raster graphics? Raster graphics is a combination of pixels. It is also called bitmap graphics. Pixels is the measuring unit of computer screen. In monitor, a composition of image is made up of pixels. What is vector graphics? Vector graphics is an output of mathematical calculation. In a raster graphic, each and every pixel information is counted, whereas in a vector graphics, only the end points is counted. So now let us take a practical. In raster graphics, each pixel is an information of position and color. So each photograph or raster graphics contains pixels, and each pixel contains the information of position and the color. So now we will study this in details. Suppose now I go to a page like this. So this is called graph paper. So this you might have studied in mathematics in schools. Graph paper is made up of horizontal and vertical lines. The horizontal line is your x-axis and the vertical line is your y-axis. So now I have an image in this graph paper. So now this image is in rectangle format. So now if I select any point or pixels in between the image, suppose I have selected a point like this. So now this pixel has got its x-axis, suppose it is around 3.994. So then you are having the y-axis, it is around 2.005. So each pixels is denoted by the x-axis and y-axis. This is how position is established by the program. Next comes the color. So how does computer recognize color? So now I open the color box. So this is an example of color box of a software. So now if I select this color, you can see the coordinates of cyan, magenta, yellow and black. It is around 0, 56, 25 and 18. So this color coordinates denotes for this color or represents this color. In the same way, green color is represented by cyan 188, magenta 0, yellow 152 and black 90. That means if I apply these four colors in any computer, you will get the output as this color. And if I apply these four coordinates in any computer, I will get this color. So each pixel has got a color and the color information is stored in numbers in this format. So when we combine the position and the color, we get an image. So this is the image. So now when I zoom this image, you can see each and every pixel has got the color. Some has got light green, some has got deep green, some has got orange. So each color is represented by position and the color coordinates. This was an example of raster graphic. So now we will take an example of vector graphic. So this we will do in the software which is called Inkscape. So now I open Inkscape. So in Inkscape, I choose the option. Suppose I choose any of the option here. Suppose I take a rectangle. So when I click and drag a rectangle, now you can see a rectangle here. So now the rectangle has got 4 endpoints. So what happens is when I draw this rectangle, computer only recognizes the endpoints and the endpoint information is stored in the computer. And when I save this file, computer will save only the 4 points. So after that, when I open this program again and open the file again, computer will read the 4 points and it will regenerate the other points automatically. So this helps in vectorizing of the shape. If we want to do anything which is photo related, so then we have using raster graphics here, and when we are doing something related to shape, then we are using vector graphics here. In raster graphics, pixels are distorted on enlargement. So now I open an image in the software Krita. So now I open the software Krita. So now here I have opened an image here. So now the percentage of the image is suppose 50%. So now I zoom this image up to say 100%. So up to 100% my pixels will not get distorted. But when we zoom the image beyond 100%, the pixel will get distorted. So now I am zooming my image beyond 100%. See, you can see square dots here. This indicates that my pixel is getting distorted beyond 100%. Hence, for getting a greater and better picture, we need to have a good camera with maximum megapixels as per the requirement of our design. So after the example of a raster graphic, so now we will see an example of vector graphics where there is no pixel distortion on enlargement. So now I open my software Inkscape. So now here I use my zoom tool, and when I click on this image, see, I am enlarging it beyond 100%. It is taken to around 280%, 300% or so. You can see the corner that the pixel is not getting distorted. So in vector graphics, the pixel will not get distorted even beyond 100% because it is not made of pixels, it is made of joints, or you can say endpoints. So when we zoom an image, the in-between lines are automatically generated through the computer software. So that is why the pixel doesn't get distorted in any vector based software like Inkscape or CorelDRAW or Flash, etc. In vector graphics, memory depends on curves, not size. So now here we can take an example here. We differentiate between the file size of a raster graphics and vector graphics. Suppose if I take a file of 10 cm by 10 cm, suppose my raster graphic, the memory consumed is YMB. Now if I increase the size of my page by 10 times, say 100 cm by 100 cm, so then the memory consumed by raster graphics will be 10 times of the size. Whereas in vector graphics, if I take a image of 10 cm by 10 cm or a file size of 10 cm by 10 cm, even if I increase the size by 10 times, my memory will only increase by 20% or approximately 25%. It will not be 10 times. So after learning about raster graphics and vector graphics, the main conclusions drawn are: photo related works are raster graphics, shape related works are vector graphics. We have to do photo related image processing in softwares like Krita, Photoshop, CorelPaint, etc. And we have to do the shape related processing and text related processing in vector graphics software like Inkscape, Vector, Blender, Illustrator, CorelDRAW, etc.
So then we will study about typography. So the typography subject was very important in the olden days, where people used to write all the text using pen and paper. But nowadays, for creating designs, people depend on computer, and in computer the typography is called fonts, and there are certain segments of people who create fonts of different varieties and input in our computer, and any layman can use that fonts and make his representation very beautiful and presentable.
What is typography? Typography is the different style of presenting alphabets. We all have different types of handwriting which represents the same alphabet in a different way. It is technically called typography. We say it handwriting in normal language. When we use the same in computers, it is called fonts. We have got lots of variety of fonts which are inbuilt in the operating system of the computer. There are professional people and companies who create font from where we can purchase, download and install them to use. Apart from the style of writing, we use different elements which supports to beautify the typography. For example, alignment, paragraph settings, line spacings and alphabet spacings. So now we will see an example of typography. Suppose I select this fonts computer terminology. So now I go to the font segment here. Here you can see different styles of writing like this. So it depends upon the fonts which are loaded in the computer. Suppose I choose here copper black. So now I get this style. In the same way you can select the text and you can change the fonts. Second, we can change the font size, like now it is 18. We can change it to 20, 24 depending on our requirement. We can increase it, we can decrease it. So we can activate the bold for our highlighting. So then we are having I for italics, we are having U for underline. So likewise in different kinds of software we have different kinds of settings to beautify our fonts or typography. So then we have got alignment. The alignment is left now. So now I can change it to center. I can change it to right. And if we are typing a paragraph, then we can use justify. So this is our paragraph settings. So then we are having line spacings. Suppose if I select 2-3 lines together. So now here I can change my line spacing from 2 to 2.5 or I can change it to 1.5. So depending on my requirement, I will change the line spacing. So these are the options which are supported to typography. This is the basic information of typography in the digital world.
To conclude, in this lecture we have studied about graphics type and typography. So in graphics type we have learned how to use the raster graphics in a particular file and how to use the vector graphics in a particular file. We have also shown the examples of output of raster graphics and the examples of output of vector graphics. So we have a fair idea of differentiation between raster graphics and vector graphics. This is very important because when a student studies something and wants to create a design, he has to be very much clear of the medium of using raster graphics and vector graphics. And typography is an important segment also, which has been made very easier with the help of computer using fonts. So we have learned both of this and hope that this lecture benefits you. Thank you.